please the court? Before you is Mr. Shaitan Shah. He is here on case number 2021A45-203-00018 on the charge of attempted murder. Your Honor, he has been detained at the Williamsburg County Detention Center for 57 days since March 24, 2001, and we are here for a defensive motion for a bond hearing.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Hello, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your Honor, my client,
Tell me your name again.
Attorney Marshall Weaver, Your Honor.
Okay.
And my client's name is Shaitan Shaw.
All right.
Shaitan is 20 years old, Your Honor, doesn't have any children. He's a lifelong resident of the Williamsburg County area. He did have a job at the time of his arrest, and as a housekeeper working at Palmetto Resorts. He had a 12th grade education. And of course, Your Honor, the issues that are before the court are going to be the issues of whether or not he's a flight risk or whether or not he's a risk of danger to the community. I would just submit to the court that he's a lifelong resident. His mother is here today, and she would like to address the court regarding flight risk and risk of danger as well, Your Honor. But he has a place to live. He has a job that's waiting for him. I don't believe that he's a flight risk whatsoever. This incident happened on their property. I believe that they do have some affirmative defenses here, Your Honor. So we do intend to try the case if necessary at the appropriate time. And I don't think he's a risk of danger to the community, Your Honor. He had an absolutely clean record prior to this incident. And I believe that had those individuals not came to his residence, he would still have a clean record. I would just ask that the court grant a reasonable bond, Your Honor. Also, his mother, Ms. Fenella Shaw is here, and she would like to address the court regarding flight risk and risk of danger only, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Austin.
Your Honor, on March 24, 2021, Sergeant Perez with the Kingston Police Department responded to a call in reference to a shooting incident. They were advised that the shooting was following a fight between Mr. Jamal Grayboy and Mr. Shaitan Shaw. When they arrived on the scene, Mr. Grayboy and Mr. Hopkins, who was described as the other shooter who was involved, they were not on the scene. And Ms. Tayana Shaw provided a voluntary statement identifying Mr. Shaitan Shaw and Mr. Tyrone Hopkins as the main shooters. Upon speaking with Mr. Jamal Grayboy, he stated that he arrived to the location to visit his uncle who lives at 105 Oak Street. Soon after he arrived, he got into a verbal altercation with Mr. Shaitan Shaw, who then proceeded to present a weapon at him while he was standing on the front porch. He became upset and Mr. Shaw was pointing the weapon in his face. Then he proceeded to go back to his car, change his clothes and shoes, and confront him. They did get to a physical altercation. He stated that no one intervened to break up the fight, even though there were numerous family members around. And he stated that Mr. Hopkins was shooting on the scene in an attempt to try to break up the fight or try to get everyone's attention.
Mr. Hopkins was doing what?
He was shooting in the air to try to break up the fight. He was trying to get everybody's attention, to get somebody to intervene in the altercation. Mr. Shaitan said it started because there was a ongoing beef between Mr. Shaw and Mr. Hopkins involving a woman. Mr. Grayboy stated that he was trying to be a good older cousin, provide mentorship and guidance to them to get them to talk this thing out, besides going to the extreme nature that it caused. When the shooting actually occurred, multiple shots were fired in the area. Numerous shots flew into houses in the surrounding area, and one bullet was pulled from the neighboring house at 106 Oak Street. At this time, KPD let us know that the investigation is still ongoing. Gunshot residue kits were done, and they are waiting on the results to come back.
Did you tell me who was shot?
Nobody was shot.
And the victim then is who?
Mr. Jamal Grayboy. KPD did conduct a recorded interview with Mr. Shaw. He stated that he was intending to shoot in order to kill.
Mr. Grayboy here?
We had numerous conversations with him. When we spoke with him last, he stated that he would be here this morning, but he is not showing up.
Are you Mr. Grayboy? Come on, Mr. Grayboy. You got Mr. Grayboy there?
Yes, I haven't seen him yet, so I'm gonna believe it's him.
All right, how are you doing? Good. Tell me your name.
Jamal.
Your full name is what?
Jamal Grayboy.
All right, Grayboy. What happened?
Me and my cousin had to get into
Keep a little
altercation.
louder for me.
Me and my cousin had got into an altercation. After that, I run to the car because I heard a gunshot. I don't know who, like, shooting him.
You got an altercation with Mr. Shaw here,
Yeah, my cousin.
your cousin, and what were y'all mad about?
Now, we just had a little cousin disagreement. We were trying to keep the peace in the family.
Y'all had a fist fight?
Yes, sir.
What time of day and night is this?
This was like morning.
1
Yeah.
in the afternoon?
This was like, during the morning, like probably like 10 or 11.
In the morning. And so, where did this happen?
Oak Street.
Oak Street.
Yeah.
And whose house is that?
It was like, we was in the road. We was in the road between his house and our uncle house.
In the road between
His house and my other uncle house.
his house and whose house?
Our other uncle house.
Other uncle's house. Who's that?
His name is Larry. I'm gonna Larry.
His first name?
He said Larry.
Larry. Oak Street. Is that in town here, King Street?
Yes, sir.
So what do you want me to do with your cousin here?
He good?
She was trying to kill you?
I don't know. My head was down, my back was turned. I don't know like who did what. But I know he got good intentions, so.
You know he's what?
I said he good.
What do you mean by that?
Like, I don't know, my back was turned, like I don't know what happened, so I can't really say. So
If he was shooting, who would he have been shooting at? You think he was trying to kill you, shoot you?
nah.
Well, who else was he mad at? Arguing with?
It was just me, but I don't know, like, probably just shooting or something.
Shooting.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
How old are you?
19.
And how old is he?
Like 19 or 20.
Were either of you on drugs that day?
Oh. You said what?
Were either you or Shaw on drugs? Were you all drinking?
Nah.
Just decided to have a fight?
It was an altercation. It was like an altercation. It was about something in the family.
About what?
It's something that was in the family. It's
Like what?
classified.
Something like what?
It's classified.
Say what?
It's classified. It was then. It's like another family member's business.
Classified.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's when classified information comes out in court.
I've been trying to get and keep peace between like family. It was like they was beefing about the girl, and I was just trying to tell them like it shouldn't be that. Like a female can do what she want to do. I was just trying to keep her like
It's
that.
about a woman,
Yeah.
and your woman or his woman or someone
Then I
else
want somebody else.
that he was mad about,
No.
that someone else was mad about. And the person whose name was, what's the third name you call?
Talking Hopkins.
Hopkins, and who's he?
That's my little brother.
Your little brother.
Yeah.
How old is he?
18.
Is he here too? Where is he today?
Locked up.
Locked up. For what?
I guess breaking up the fight.
So the police took Shaw to jail and your brother to jail?
Yeah. After this.
Took you to jail too? And what are you charged with?
fighting and something else. I forgot. The paper account.
You have a lawyer?
Huh?
Do you have a lawyer?
Mm-hmm.
How long did you stay in jail?
A day.
One day. Did you pay money to get out?
Mm-hmm.
Let you go? You don't seem to be too upset about this situation.
Cause everything good. Like it worked, all those people good now.
Who are those other people back there with you?
My sister and my auntie. My sister and my auntie.
Aunt and sister. And were they there?
Were they there?
Yeah, were they there that day? And your sister and aunt, what relation are they to Shaw?
Cousins.
Cousins. All of you are cousins with each other's cousins? All right. Anything else on your mind? What do you want to happen to these charges?
Safety drug. Then again, at that, my cousin shouldn't have been there. Nothing.
Whether he kills you or not, or tries to kill you or not?
I don't know what was the intention, and I don't know if he was shooting or who was. Like I said, me and my back was turned, so I wasn't.
How many bullets or shots did you hear?
Like 3.
3. And how many people had guns? You don't know?
My back was turned, I was running, I wouldn't know.
All right, thank you, Mr. Grayboy.
Yes, sir.
What else you have for me, Ms. Austin?
Your Honor, I believe Mr. Shaw's mother would also like to say something on the record.
Okay. Mama Shaw, Shaw's mother, so she's with Mr. Weaver.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
State your name for the record. My name is Jamal Shaw. I'm Shaitan's mother.
I'll tell you, I really, it's so hard to understand what you all are saying behind those masks.
I'm Shaitan's mother. I'm Donald Shaw. I'm speaking on his behalf. The little altercation that we had at our house was them. When they first pulled up, he told me that I told them to get back in the car, leave. There was going to be no fight.
You told who to get back in the car?
The one who was sitting right here.
Grayboy.
Grayboy.
Okay.
So I told him to get back in the car, leave. The other cousin came out. Other 2 was about to come out because all of them came and jumped them. It was 4 of them in the car. But the police didn't get the other 2. They only get him and Grayboy, the one that locked up. Jamal. So when they came, he was like, well, Shaitan told me to come. I said, no, it's not going to be no fight. Please get in the car and leave. They refused to leave. So the next the one in jail, Newman, he was like trying to come to fight too. But the other 2, they did stay across the road because they didn't get out the car. So they did stay across the road because I wouldn't let it come right out. So they came, so Jamal was in the yard and Grayboy was in the yard. So him and my son, they started fighting. And my daughter trying to stop them.
The daughter was back there?
No, my daughter, she's on the outside. She didn't came.
Okay.
So my daughter tried, she's on the outside. Yes, sir.
Why didn't she come in?
Because she didn't have enough.
She didn't what?
She wasn't dressed.
What you mean she wasn't dressed?
She didn't have on no kind of proper clothes to come in here.
What did she have on?
Some short pants and a t-shirt with no bra. So that's why she didn't come.
Why didn't she get dressed?
We was running a little late trying to
Running
get
late. Go ahead.
So anyway, so I told him he don't bother nobody. I already told him when he get out, he got a job that's waiting on him. He do stuff with my aunt, my mom. He don't mess with nobody. They always play basketball. And then when they did come, they parked across the yard. They get out their car. They came in our yard. They didn't fight in the road and they didn't shoot in the road. They was in our yard. They didn't win in the road. They was in our yard.
What were they mad about?
It had something to do, actually they really don't have nothing to do with us. And I was talking to their mom and everything. They don't have nothing to do with us. This boiled down to their cousin, who they called 33, wanted to kill their own first cousin over some girl. We don't have nothing to do with that. When he first shoot his video shoot, that's how it really all started. Because when their cousin 33 came, he did a video shoot at our house and at the hotel when they was on their way back. Their cousin 33 came by our house and started shooting at them in our yard. But he didn't mean he was trying to kill his own cousin. It wasn't meant for us, but he ended up shooting our yard. So all that started ever since last year. And they couldn't let go of it. So Grayboy, he keep texting my son. And he still is texting my son. Texting my son, telling him what he want to play. Like I told him, he's not getting no fight because he don't bother nobody, and he's not getting no trouble over stupid men that don't involve him. But they wouldn't listen to me when I told them to get out of y'all the first time. Those kids, and I told them, y'all kids said it was hard. They wouldn't listen.
Ms. Shaw is your name, right?
Yeah.
You were saying something about a video shoot.
Yeah, he do like raps and stuff. And he
Who does, your son?
Yes, sir.
So your son is on social media, Facebook or something?
Yeah, he could like do little rap videos and stuff. A bunch of kids on it doing it. But,
He gets paid for it or he does it for free?
no, they don't get paid for it. They can go to a studio just to make videos. But anyway.
He was like, talking about somebody in the video or made someone mad because he
No.
made a video?
No.
So what do you want me to do here this morning?
I just want him to get out so he could come to work because he has a job offering for him. His band had a job offering for him, so I just wait for him to get out. He don't bother nobody. Like I said, he don't bother nobody. He like to play basketball. He like to be on games. So
He doesn't bother anyone. Well, I mean, he's ended up here, something's going on.
no, I don't think not. Because he stays home a lot too, so and he don't bother nobody. Yeah, he only had me with two. He got two homeboys that he be with every day, and my nephew, and they don't bother
every
nobody.
day.
Sir?
You said your son works every day?
No, he worked while I used to work too. We work at the Palace Resort on Burnaby Beach.
All right. Anything else on your mind?
No, that's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, Your Honor, just very, very briefly in rebuttal to what the prosecution has presented, Your Honor. My client's address is 106 Oak Street. This altercation or shooting and everything else surrounding it took place at 106 Oak Street. The victims, the other individuals, do not reside at 106 Oak Street. This occurred at my client's residence. I do believe that my client does have an affirmative defense if the case were to go forward. For that reason, Your Honor, he's not a flight risk. We're not concerned about trial. And I would also ask that the court consider what Mr. Grayboy said, which was, to quote him, "We all good now." So I would just ask that the court set as minimal a bond as possible, allow him to go back to work, allow him to resume his life, and we'll be present for all future court appearances, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Mr. Shaw, do you want to say anything about bond? Can't hear you.
No, sir.
All right. Ms. Austin, anything else?
In Your Honor, the state would just like to ask if a bond is set, we ask as a surety bond, and we just ask that he be subject to some type of GPS monitor, just due to the dangerous nature of this and the extreme recklessness of it. Just shooting around in the neighborhood with close proximity to other houses on Oak Street. There are numerous houses that are close in distance, and it's just lucky that nobody else got shot during this altercation.
What would be the purpose of a surety bond?
Just to make sure that he continues to appear in court, that he makes all his appearances, that keeps the appointment with Mr. Weaver.
And you believe if he didn't have a surety bond, he wouldn't come to court? You ever lived any place else other than King Street? Ever been out of South Carolina before?
Yeah, I only been out for like a day or two.
So how you left South Carolina before?
Yes, sir. I ain't lived out of South Carolina, but yeah.
Where'd you go?
North Carolina, right there in Wilmington.
Wilmington, how long did you stay there?
Like 1 to 2 days.
Aside from that, have you ever been out of South Carolina, like New York, California, Chicago, or any place like that?
No, sir.
And where's he gonna go?
Water is.
Well, I'm just responding. He said surety bond, where he has to go give bonds. He said his mama works at the beach. Where's she gonna get money from to pay his surety bond? You don't have any money, do you? You don't have any money, do you?
No.
Other than what you gave Mr. Weaver, I was supposed to give him. Next, electronic monitoring. Why is that necessary?
We were just requesting it just due to the nature of this exact case. He has been detained.
It costs about $270 every month. How is he gonna pay for it?
He did state that he has a job waiting for him as soon as he's released.
But the job doing what? Cleaning rooms on the beach?
At Palmetto Resort, Your Honor, exactly.
How much money do they pay?
And now it's $50.
You know, you bring home about enough to pay for electronic monitoring. You have any children?
No, sir.
How old are you?
20.
20. Yeah, I don't believe in just randomly charging people money to get out of jail or costing them to pay. Well, it's never the person in jail who pays the money. It's generally the family members. And generally not even the mother, generally the grandmother or grandfather or somebody. And there are instances where it's appropriate. But anyone accused of a crime has a constitutional right to a personal recognizance bond unless it can be shown that there may be a flight risk or a danger to the community, and then maybe they're not entitled to any bond. But to say that if he's paying a bond, he's guaranteed to come to court. Do you believe that's necessary?
What that?
For you to have an ankle monitor on?
Not really. I ain't going away.
I don't, people, one thing about most places in South Carolina, people have been in the same area for generations, hundreds of years. They don't go anywhere. Just the Weavers and the Alstons and the Shaws and just wherever you're from, that's where you will generally be. And, there are instances where people might skip town and have a manhunt out for them, but that's kind of few and far between. I don't have problems with people coming to court. So in most instances, these high bonds are unnecessary. I mean, you can just order someone to do anything. Electronic monitoring, $270 a month. The case may come to court in 2 years. And they can't pay it. So what's the purpose of it? That's why we're going back to what's the purpose of it. What you think about all that, Mr. Weaver, seasoned defense lawyer?
Very enlightening, actually, Your Honor. I think I'm going to use it in some future arguments.
Yeah. I'm going to give him a $50,000 PR bond. That means if you don't come to court, then you're going to have to pay $50,000. Then I'm going to have your mama sign that PR bond. If she's here saying how you're not going to be in any trouble and all those things, and we're going to have her sign the bond as well. And special conditions condition of the bond is that you're to have no contact with any of these victims or alleged victims or witnesses or other people accused, along with you, whoever they might be, and I'm not clear on who they are. How about that? Sounds good to you?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, if you draw that as an ordinance to Weaver.
Thank you very much.